Five Pods of Xmas. Today I have with us news editor Lindsey Cole. Lindsey, I'm going to ask you, like I ask everybody else, what do you think were the most significant stories of the year? And then after that, what do you think is coming up in the next year, the year of our Lord 2024?
All right. Thank you, Warren. Appreciate the opportunity to chime in on some of our bigger stories that have occurred in 2023, as well as looking ahead to 2024. I think I'll be a little bit, somewhat specific and then somewhat broad, I guess, in my analysis of 2023. Obviously, I would be remiss if I didn't mention in Ontario, we obviously had the housing crisis just basically dominate the headlines, across the spectrum all year round. And then obviously you sprinkle in there the Greenbelt scandal with our current conservative government that just kind of, again, provided more fodder on the ongoing coverage that we've done on that. So, but I think it speaks to the fact that in a lot of ways, a lot of governments are scrambling for answers. From the get-go, discussing the Greenbelt was probably going to be controversial no matter what. But then to have the housing minister have to resign, and then you have
And more of them. Yeah.
and more of them following after that, and then questionable business practices, auditor general's reports, integrity commissioner reports coming in. It just kind of puts a little bit of a black mark on what is a very important issue in Ontario and across the country when it comes to just providing the needed housing for people who are either coming to this country or B, just currently live here and can't afford a place to stay or, the like. So I thought that was unfortunate to see. I knew the Greenbelt stuff as soon as it came out, with them even saying, hey, we're going to parse out many, many acres of land in a very contentious area.
Yeah, that was something was going to happen one way or the other.
Something was going to happen one way or the other. But I think we have a lot of good news fronts on the housing file too that aren't necessarily government related. I have to give the stakeholders in the industry a lot of credit. They're really trying to find solutions and work with government, various levels, to try to improve, development approvals processes, to try to find the necessary labor. We have a perfect storm, as they've said, when it comes to a housing crisis. Again, it spans across the country, but we have. We just don't have enough people to build them. And then you have, a very cumbersome approvals process in most instances. So I think it leads to more questions in 2024 on this file, and we'll certainly be taking a look at it. As it comes with more progress, will more municipalities try to implement maybe a more streamlined approach that can be used across different municipalities to help bolster and speed things up there. Will this Greenbelt scandal go away? I highly doubt it.
I doubt it too.
I think there will be more coming on that file for sure. So I guess in 2024, I'm looking forward to seeing where the industry sits when it comes to housing. The federal government in its most recent economic statement had some initiatives for housing, but it wasn't, I think, as sexy, for lack of a better word, than what we were hoping for, or what maybe some in the industry were hoping for. So there's still a lot of work to be done, and I don't know if targets are going to be met that have been set out. So I guess in 2024, that's what I'll be looking forward to, is actually seeing if some headway is, all these initiatives, all this funding is great, but like, are more shovels actually going to go into the ground is what I think I'll watch out for. I think here in Toronto specifically, I'm going to be watching with some questions on large transit projects. Whether we obviously have the Eglinton Crosstown. What's going to happen with that?
Which is now Ontario's problem, not Toronto's, sort of.
Sort of, yeah. And then what's going to happen with Ontario Place? That's a big. I mean, honestly, I think obviously things are going to be progressing there. Looks that way.
Some people won't be thrilled about it, so there's that.
No, and how many roadblocks are they going to face? Like how
Mhm.
much, what's further going to happen here? And there's been questions about the democratic process with regards to consultations and everything like that. From our perspective, I mean, we have a very notable architect behind the spa project there. I mean, it does look spectacular. You can't deny the renderings. They look amazing. Um, but I think there's some major community opposition to it, and I don't know what avenues they're going to continue to take to try to stall the project, basically.
Mhm. Mhm.
So again, I'll be watching that. Um, I think ongoing in 2024, just on a market spectrum, and an economic spectrum, I want to see if is there going to be more stability, or is there going to be more, um, rough patches ahead when it comes to interest rates, inflation, supply chain woes, which are still happening. Um, are more developers, what's the trend in 2024? Are more developers going to come out of the woodwork and be not so scared to
Mhm.
invest as they have been in the last couple of years? So I'm intrigued to see the market conditions changing, and or if they're going to change, and when, because I think that's a large uh, indicator of where things are going to go for the remainder of the year.
Mhm.
Um, Out west, a very interesting angle, I think, to take a look at. We have some huge projects wrapping up.
Right.
You've got
Yes.
Coastal GasLink's done. You've got Site C is 80% done now. We're in December.
Mhm.
So you got a huge labor pool there that's been working on these massive projects. Is there a way, or what happens when those projects wrap up? Like, is that going to free up a bunch of labor that maybe could go somewhere else and help with the shortages,
Mhm.
or where does that sit?
And not only
It's
that, I recently did an economic podcast with Alex and Michael, and Alex pointed out once the oil starts flowing and going places, that might actually help the economy here, which changes things too. Once these projects are actually done,
yeah,
for
well, that's
Trans
it.
anyway, not for Site C, obviously, but.
Right. But still, nonetheless,
Mhm.
it's a resource that's was built for a reason.
Mhm.
So what's the economic impacts of that? That's a good point, Warren, for sure.
Well, give
Um,
Alex credit, not me. I'm not that smart.
you said it. I'm not even going to comment on that. But so I think, and I also think out west there's a really we've touched on this many times before, but in Ontario and in BC, mass timber is beginning to
Mhm.
really emerge as a prominent building material. But BC is really, really pushing for it. So I'm intrigued to see where that goes. More project announcements with that material, and you know, seeing where maybe a potential labor pool there, like where will more people be interested in doing like mass timber skill training? You don't know. So
Mhm.
um, I think that's an area of exploration. I would definitely be remiss if I didn't see or mention prompt payment in BC.
Right. Yes.
Obviously, that's been a very large topic of conversation among BC stakeholders and associations. There's obviously ongoing consultation about it, but what is it actually going to come to fruition in 2024? Will
Mhm.
legislation be drafted? Will this finally happen for the industry? I have no idea, but I'll
No,
be
nor do
watching for
I.
it. Um, and then I think we have some major federal trends to watch for too. You know, Green energy, carbon emissions, the whole movement on that front, and the
Mhm.
regulations that could be coming down the pipe with that um, will impact the industry greatly, both positively and negatively. So we just have to kind of watch out for where the incentives are for the industry as well as where the drawbacks are. So yeah, it's kind of go ahead.
I was just thinking that 2024, there probably won't be an election, but there sure will be a lot of stuff to juice an election in 2025. So there might be some project stuff or tax breaks or whatever that happens next year to prepare for 2025 as well, because every government does
100%.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Not to mention, like, are they going to, take some feedback that the industry's been giving with regards to an infrastructure assessment plan? Are they
Hmm.
actually going to take a look at that? Um, will there be more inroads with the Canada Infrastructure Bank? Hard to say. as you can see, there's no shortage of things for us to follow
Right.
in the coming year. But I'd have to say 2023 was certainly not a dull moment.
Nope.
I think one of the things we'll definitely be following too is the advent, and we'll be touching on it in our 2023 year-end coverage as well. But where does artificial intelligence lead us again in 2024? What's going to be the evolution of that? Are we going to see it more and more and more in various facets among the industry? We're already seeing it sprinkled in a little bit. And I think the ongoing challenge of the slow adoption of technology in construction will again be a focus for us in 2024. So there's lots of things to look forward to as well as reflect on. So I would definitely check out our year-end review coverage by Dawn and Angela as well as myself, because we'll be kind of encompassing some of the things I touched on, but not all. And there'll be other avenues that are explored, while also kind of giving a little bit of a glimpse into 2024, according to either our economists or some of our sources. So yeah, stay tuned, I guess.
Okay, on that note, Lindsey, happy holidays and a happy and healthy 2024, which is days away by the time this goes out. So yeah, and to you, our audience, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.